Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into that feeling, you know the one. That really heavy feeling in your chest when you're scrolling maybe, or looking at what someone else has achieved. It's that little knot of doubt, isn't it, that makes you feel like, well, like your own progress just isn't quite cutting it. Perhaps you've seen, I don't know, for friends, incredible photos from Southeast Asia, look perfect, right? Or maybe you're a creator and you see someone with millions of downloads and you just think, why am I going so slow? Am I doing this wrong?
That's it exactly. And what you're describing, the sources we looked at call that the comparison trap. It's a really common thing. But look, we're not here just to give, generic advice. This is a deep dive. Our mission really is to give you a better handle on why this feeling actually halts your progress. And we found this fantastic story that really illustrates the psychology behind it. But before the story, just a key insight from the research. This constant looking outwards, comparing yourself, it doesn't just feel bad. It actually changes why you do things. It shifts your motivation. You move away from doing something because you genuinely love it. That's intrinsic motivation. To doing it just for the applause, for the external validation.
What's forensic?
Right. And that's a huge shift.
Wow, okay, so it's not just feeling slow. It actually changes the engine, the reason you're doing the work in the first place. You stop, like you said, running your own race. You're suddenly trying to win on someone else's track. Okay, so to really get a picture of this trap, the source material uses this brilliant little story, a parable. It's called The Painter and the Mirror. And it's really designed to flip your perspective on what success even looks like.
Right. So the main character is this painter, Alara. And when she first started, she painted purely for joy. That was it, her work. It was described as vibrant, a little messy, and deeply personal. It had this energy, came straight from her. But then things changed. This mysterious merchant shows up, and he gives her this gift, an ornate silver mirror, very fancy. But this mirror isn't for checking your reflection. He tells her it shows the work of the world's greatest painters, like the absolute best. And not just their finished work, it shows them as they created in real time.
Whoa, okay, so like the ultimate Instagram feed for artists back then?
Exactly. Or maybe the ultimate productivity tool. That's how it seems at first.
But the sources show the danger immediately, right? Clara starts off inspired, maybe, but that inspiration quickly turns sour. It becomes, comparison, debilitating comparison.
Absolutely. She'd look at her own canvas, her own work in progress. Then she'd look in the mirror at these masters, and the negative self-talk starts.
Yeah, the whispering doubts. Things like, oh, my lines aren't as clean as his, or her colors are just way more sophisticated than mine. That kind of thing.
Exactly that. And then she makes the crucial mistake. She tries to copy them. She abandons her own style, that messy, vibrant thing she had, and tries to replicate their techniques, their perfection.
And the result?
It was disastrous for her art. It became dull and technical, lifeless, all that personal spark, the joy, gone. Because she wasn't painting her anymore. She was trying to be a cheap copy.
Oh, man. It drained her completely.
Totally. The comparison just sucked all the motivation out of her. Eventually, she just stopped. Stopped painting altogether, let the dust gather on her canvases.
Wow. Okay, that's dark. But there's a turning point, I hope.
There is, thank goodness. Her old mentor comes to visit her. And here's the really key part. He walks in, sees this gleaming, fancy mirror, and he completely ignores it. Doesn't give it a second glance.
Interesting, so he doesn't get drawn into the highlight reel.
Not at all. Instead, he goes over to her old work, the early stuff, the vibrant, messy, personal pieces she'd hidden away. And he points to them and says the core thing, the wisdom. The world already has those other painters, Alara, but it only has one you.
Oof, that hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. And he uses this beautiful analogy from nature, too. He says, a flower does not compare itself to the flower next to it. It just blooms.
Simple, but profound. Just do your own thing, grow where you're planted.
Exactly. The act of growth itself is the point, unique to you.
So Alara finally gets it. She sees the trap.
She does. It's like a light bulb moment. She takes this heavy cloth, and she covers the mirror, puts it away, and the next day, she goes back to her canvas. But this time, she's not chasing perfection, not chasing someone else's style.
She goes back to being herself.
Back to her unique, vibrant, maybe slightly messy style. And the story says she creates her true masterpiece then. Why? Because it was completely, beautifully hers.
That's a powerful story, and the link to today seems, pretty obvious.
It's incredibly relevant, isn't it? That fictional silver mirror, it's basically our modern life, especially online. Social media, those perfectly crafted career stories you read about, that is the modern mirror. It's constantly showing us the highlight reel.
Right, and the sources really emphasize that, don't they? The highlight reel. It looks amazing, but what's missing? It conveniently leaves out all the messy reality, the missed flights on that perfect trip, the budget stress, the coder staying up all night fixing bugs.
Or the hundreds of failed attempts, the drafts that got thrown away, the lonely evenings, none of that makes the reel.
So we're comparing our behind-the-scenes struggle to everyone else's polished final cut.
Exactly. And that raises a really crucial structural point for you listening right now. If you're constantly playing that comparison game, looking at someone else's airbrushed finish line, you're playing an unwinnable game. You literally can't focus the mental energy, the intention needed for your own messy day-to-day work if your bandwidth is clogged up judging yourself against that impossible standard.
But hang on, is all comparison bad? I mean, sometimes looking at someone who's really good at something can be inspiring, right? It can make you want to learn.
Yeah.
Do the sources say we just have to, block everything out?
That's a really good question, and it's a distinction that trips a lot of people up. The sources are quite clear here. The comparison trap is about emotional comparison. It's when you use someone else's success as a yardstick for your own self-worth. That's what leads to the insecurity, the feeling of not enough.
Okay, so that's the bad kind.
Right, but there's also intentional comparison. Or maybe analytical comparison. That's when you observe someone skilled, someone who's achieved something you admire, but you do it strategically. You look at their technique, their process, their strategy to learn from it, to extract useful information.
So it's the difference between thinking, wow, I wish I was them, versus thinking, how did they solve that tricky problem? What steps did they take?
Precisely. One fuels insecurity, the other fuels learning and growth, without attacking your own sense of worth.
Okay, that feels like the real breakthrough insight here. The goal isn't to become a perfect clone of someone else. It's to become the best, most confident, most you version of yourself. Your unique, maybe winding, maybe messy journey. That's the actual point.
Yes. That's why the sources talk about needing to run your own race. It's such a great phrase. It means focusing squarely on your own progress, your own lane, using your own internal compass, not constantly looking left and right emotionally.
Right. Okay, so we've identified the trap. We understand the motivation shift. We've got the story. What about practical stuff? What can you actually do right now when that heavy feeling starts, when you catch yourself in the trap? What do the sources suggest?
Okay, yeah, let's get practical. The first step, and maybe the most important, is just awareness. Simple recognition. It's about reducing the mental noise. Just notice when you're doing it. When that not good enough feeling pops up, consciously ask yourself, okay, wait, is this thought actually helping me improve? Or is it just making me feel bad and draining my energy?
Just spotting the pattern. That makes sense. Sometimes just naming it takes away some of its power, doesn't it?
It really does. Often that's the biggest step, just realizing you've fallen into the trap again. It helps you start to metaphorically cover that mirror.
Okay, step one, awareness.
Yeah.
What's next?
Step two is about actively managing your inputs. Curate your environment. The sources are really pragmatic about this. Since the trap is often triggered visually or by context, seeing that post, reading that article, you need to control those triggers.
So it's okay to unfollow or mute accounts, even if it feels a bit like sticking your head in the sand.
It's not avoidance. Think of it as strategic resource management. You're protecting your focus. If certain feeds consistently make you feel discouraged rather than inspired, it's perfectly okay, essential, even to mute them or unfollow. You're basically clearing out the noise to free up that mental bandwidth you need for your own creative work. Fill your feed with things that genuinely lift you up or teach you something useful.
Right, protect your headspace.
Yeah.
Okay, awareness, curate. What's number three?
Number three is celebrate small wins. This directly counters that shift towards only caring about big external validation.
Because comparison makes you wait for the huge achievement, the public success.
Exactly. So you need to actively pull yourself back to valuing the internal progress, the daily steps. Did you finally grasp a difficult concept today? Did you stick to your practice schedule? Maybe you had a short conversation in a new language and didn't freeze up.
Yeah, those little things that actually show you are moving forward, even if it doesn't look flashy from the outside.
Those small milestones are the real evidence of your unique journey. Acknowledge them. Be proud of them. It rebuilds that intrinsic motivation.
Okay, that's crucial. Awareness, curate, celebrate small wins.
Yeah.
Is there a final step?
Yes, the fourth one is practice self-kindness. This is maybe the hardest, but so important. Remember Alara's period where she stopped painting? In the thick of it, that probably felt like failure, like giving up.
Yeah, absolutely. A total dead end.
But looking back, that pause, that detour was actually necessary. It's what allowed her the space to realize she was trapped and figure out how to get back to her true self. So be kind to yourself during those times when progress feels slow or when you feel doubt creep in.
Recognize that it's part of the process.
Exactly. Every perceived step back, every moment of uncertainty, it's often gathering information or building resilience. It's not wasted time. It frequently leads to the most important breakthroughs about what truly matters on your path.
Okay, fantastic. Those 4 steps feel really actionable. Awareness, curate your environment, celebrate small wins, and practice self-kindness. Now, just before we wrap up, let's quickly recap the key terms we use, just to, lock them in. These are good handles for thinking about this stuff.
Good idea. So first, we define the comparison trap. That's the core problem, that habit of measuring your own insides, your progress, your worth, against someone else's polished outsides.
Right. And tied to that was the highlight reel. That's the curated collection of best bits, the successes, the perfect moments that social media and sometimes even news stories show us, which hides all the struggle and the messy reality.
Then we talked about the antidote, the goal, to run your own race. That great idiom for just focusing on your personal path, your own metrics, your own journey, without getting derailed by looking at others emotionally.
And finally, achieving a breakthrough. That important light bulb moment, that significant step forward that often comes after a period of struggle or feeling stuck, like when Alara finally understood her mentor.
Perfect summary. So pulling it all together, what's the big takeaway for you listening? It's really this: your journey right now, exactly as it is with all its bumps and detours, it's unique and it's inherently valuable because it's yours.
Just showing up, doing the work, facing your own canvas day after day, that's a huge measure of success in itself, isn't it?
It absolutely is. The real prize isn't reaching some external definition of perfection that mirrors someone else. It's about cultivating your own vibrant, messy, personal world, just like Alara did when she finally embraced her own style again.
Yeah, bringing back that joy, that personal connection to the work.
Which leads us to maybe a final thought, something for you to chew on this week. Thinking about Alara covering that mirror, what if you consciously covered your main silver mirror, whatever triggers comparison for you, just for 1 week? What unique, messy, maybe slightly imperfect, but genuinely joyful piece of your progress might finally get the space it needs to start blooming? Something to think about. Keep learning, keep creating your way.